All right, hello everybody, and welcome to this presentation of the ECL Elite Division right here on Sports Gamer. The Elite Division, not the Pro, of course. We starting off strong this Monday. It's a Monday. You got to let some of these things slip past. I am Doogie, joined, of course, by my broadcast partner, Mr. Sim, for the win, and we are back. It is week 4. Can you believe it? Already week 4 here in the ECL Elite Division, and Sin, we get to start off this week with a rather interesting matchup. But more importantly, how you doing? How was your weekend?
I'm doing great. Weekend was good. Excited, of course, to be back here in the booth with you to cover these two teams. And this is a battle between two teams who we thought were going to be much closer in the standings here. YMCA maybe just on the outside looking in. SAWO, around that middle of the pack, maybe tail end of the left side of the bracket. However, SAWO has come out and essentially shocked the ECL world here with a 14-3-1 record. Good enough for second place, while YMCA right now is in 11th. But they're in the mix of those teams where all it takes is one good day and you're right back in that playoff position.
Absolutely. Let's get you all a look at the standings here as they happen to be at the beginning of this match day. Again, as Sin mentioned, SAWO currently occupying that second place position. We won't mention that off of point per game pace for Lunda's technically in second. But obviously, as you can tell, there is still a bit of a gap between some teams in terms of the amount of games that they have played so far this season in this 30-game regular season format, of course, that we have. Sin, as we know, the left-hand side of the bracket is where you want to be. And as we've talked about all season long, that race for those 8 playoff spots are pretty close, while we are starting to see somewhat of a gap form at the bottom spot. And of course, the bottom 4 spots certainly not where you want to be.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, yes, there's currently a 4-point gap. ZSC does have a 2-game in hand, but between that 7 and the 8 spot right there, but then just on the outside, it's Roots, Edinburgh, YMCA, even Goons. I mean, they're all right there with all within 1 point of each other. Varying games played, you could see Goons there with only the 14 so far. So they're perhaps you could argue in the best position out of all those teams to at least sort of make their way back. But when it comes to kind of the left side of the bracket, at least in that middle, a lot of it, as long as those teams don't, have terrible days or terrible series, it's really seemingly like they're just going to be battling for seeding here as we've, passed the halfway point in this season. We're starting to get a better idea who we think are going to be the playoff teams, but still a lot of hockey left to play. I mean, 10 plus games. So it's, far from over and sorted.
Of course, a little bit later on, you mentioned Goons. We'll see them in action against Roots Gaming in our second matchup of the day. And of course, both those teams right on the bubble, trying to get back into the playoff hunt. Of course, we kick things off today, though, as Sin mentioned, it is YMCA Esports taking on SAWO Esports. And a look at the lineups, how these two teams will look here in today's matchup. Again, 2 games, the home-and-home regular season matchup. And when talking about these particular lineups, I mean, again, you kind of mentioned it, not expecting there to be this much of a gap in terms of how these teams would look at this point in the season. But for YMCA, it is the main 6 that you would expect. JM, Captain Angel Kuru, and Sokolo up front. Rimpe and Julius on defense. Benu between the pipes. And for SAWO, Yurska, Mozia, and Avatu. Captain Tambu on defense with Wenger. And then, talk about a comeback. It is Nike between the pipes. We'll be talking about him quite a bit here as well. But as we get into these individual matchups, as we do, and the Battle of the Centerson is always where we start, these numbers, again, a little bit one-sided.
Yeah, you could definitely see that, and that's kind of symptomatic of what YMCA has kind of gone through so far. They have the 4th least amount of goals here in the ECL Elite, and that's simply not where you want to be if you're hoping to make the playoffs. You got to get your goal scoring going, and that might be tough here against Nike. But I mean, if you look at this matchup here, Moja tied for 3rd in assists among skaters. There, 20 assists is absolutely phenomenal for him. A 55% around on the faceoff dot, which puts him nearly 10% above his counterpart over there in Angel Kuru. So not an easy matchup here, and we might see that kind of all the way down the line between these two teams.
Absolutely, and of course, Moja previously with this YMCA esports team as of last season. The winger battle. JM and Sokolo for YMCA, Yerska and Avatu on the SAWO side of things. And again, Sin, we see just a little bit of separation when it comes to these four.
Yeah, Yerska is just having a phenomenal season. 17 goals, 17 assists. I mean, he's tied for fourth in goals, tied for fourth in points. Just the Sawo team, again, seemingly kind of having these, pieces come out of nowhere. As a team, they've kind of rallied and come out of nowhere to jump onto the scene and, have that second spot in the standings relatively secure. That being said, some bright spots on YMCA, of course. JM, above point per game, has, missed a game with we'll call it a download injury, as we called McSavid's internet injury early on in the season. But I mean, JM is kind of what I look at is the catalyst for this YMCA team to kind of get going. He is a very creative player, and he can make big plays happen. And he hasn't got necessarily production really to match that. But again, YMCA as a whole has not really been able to goal score that well this season.
You could say that Yerska had to, or JM, excuse me, had to get a little bit patched up from that injury.
There you go. That's beautiful.
The defensive battle here for YMCA, it is Rimpe and Julius on the other side. Again, Tombu and Wenger. Sin, the points are a little bit more close here, but a thing to note with this matchup as well, only 4 goals combined from the 4 in this particular matchup.
Yeah, and it's a little, I mean, it's not something you necessarily expect, at least in the previous seasons, from one of those top teams in the elite division here. You expect to see both of those defensemen around that point per game mark. The thing is with SAWO, what we've really kind of seen from them, is that counterattack style. And oftentimes when you're counterattacking, it's a lot of passes between the forwards. The turnover was forced by the forwards. It's not necessarily a longer stretch pass from the defenseman that gets that going. So, but probably why we're seeing a bit less points from Tombu and Wenger there. That being said, there obviously have been very strong defensively. SAWO as a whole has been strong defensively. It's going to present a lot of problems here for YMCA, who, again, don't have necessarily points on the back end, and you could argue their defense hasn't been tremendous. I would, Bennu has obviously been very, very solid, but they have the 6th most goals allowed as well. So, not the goal differential that they want. A lot of things to right with the YMCA ship right here.
I mean, Sin, you kind of mentioned how the offense is struggling and the defense hasn't been quite what they wanted, and that offense in particular is kind of our focus. Like, Rimpe was one of their new arrivals alongside Sokolo. Rimpe, of course, sat out elite last season, last played in 11. But you talk about that offense as well, and it's not that the likes of Sokolo and Angel Kuru aren't capable. They're both at a point per game pace. But the 2 guys that they're having to replace were a little bit above that point per game pace.
Yeah, I mean, Timothy and Moja there. Those are two tough players to replace there. And I mean, it's going to kind of happen. JM is the sole surviving full-time member on that offense. So it does kind of make sense why they're still kind of struggling to figure things out here. And their task doesn't get easier in this matchup here, taking on the 2 seed in SAWO.
So that was our focus for YMCA Esports. And boy, I can't imagine who our focus is going to be for SAWO as we talk about the goaltenders one more time. Again, Bennu for YMCA. Decent numbers, maybe not quite living up to the expectations that he carried from last season, where, again, he was, absolutely phenomenal, I think is the best way to sum it up. I'm looking at his numbers right now from last year. He had an 82 save percentage, nearly an 83 on the season. So, again, not quite where we'd expect him to be. And then you have Nikkei returning to full-time action, and he's on the other side. I don't know if we expected him to be this good. He is incredible. It has been incredible so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, we've always known he's a solid goaltender, but this is really kind of his breakout season here. He has 7 shutouts in 16 games played, and I can't remember I know Kape had in that one season like 12 or 14. I can't remember exactly. I could see Nikkei, making a run at it. I don't have their coming up schedule in front of me. Maybe you do in a couple minutes while I continue to kind of talk about just how phenomenal he has been. Huge credit to Nikkei for helping SAWO be the best defensive team. They have a sub-1 goals against average across this season, which is absolutely ridiculous. I can't remember the last time we've seen a team kind of sustain that for this long. It's a .94. They do have the fifth most goals for as well with the 239. So they're giving him that goal support. The fact of the matter is that SAWO collapses really well. Nikkei can make that first save, no problem most of the time, but also he's able to make those breakaway saves, the odd man rushes. It's not just that he's having an easy time. And sometimes we've seen SAWO getting, kind of hemmed in and, a lot of time spent in their zone. The thing is, Nikkei has just been able to make those saves, big or routine. He's just been there for his team.
Now, you asked about the SAWO schedule list upcoming. Tomorrow, games against Frölunda. Wednesday, games against Färjestad. Thursday, Örebro. Next Monday, they play Djurgården, and then they finish up the regular season next Wednesday against Goons. That's right. The regular season finishes next Wednesday. That's how close we are to the finale here. At least it does for SAWO. So really for SAWO, they only have one matchup against a team that won't be in the playoff hunt at this stage. So now is kind of the time in terms of, call it what you want, the legit check, I guess, for SAWO. They have a pretty tough run of games here to wrap up the regular season. If they still find themselves in the top 2, the top 3, needless to say, statement made.
Yeah, and more to that point on Nikkei, that's going to be tough for him to kind of break that shutout record and keep his save percentage above 90 going against some of those teams. But the way SAWO's played, you never know. I can't remember if we've ever had a goalie finish the season with a 90-plus save percentage, but what a treat it would be to see Nikkei be able to do that this season.
Honestly, I don't know if we have either.
Yeah.
For as many great seasons as we've seen from the likes of Kape and Hanselinho in the past, I'd actually be intrigued to know that. It sounds like they would have, but there's a chance that they haven't. So ultimately, we'll see. So we kind of know what's ahead for SAWO. It would be an epic collapse at this point for them to not make the playoffs. It's just kind of a matter of seeding for them. Go figure. It's a matter of seeding for a team with SAWO's logo. Horrible joke to start off this Monday.
He's building off the momentum of his patch joke, and he stretched a little bit on that one. But always stretch before you reach, kids.
Old Icarus flying too close to the sun here. But when it comes to the YMCA schedule as well, because I do like to look ahead. I think we both do in terms of, okay, what's next? And for YMCA, obviously very valuable points here. We saw where they were in the standings, entering 11th today. They have Roots later on this week. That's another team right on the bubble. Then they play HV71, kind of in a relegation battle at this stage. Örebro, playoff bubble. Frölunda, I mean, come on. And then IQ, who are also in the playoff battle. So really for YMCA, like Sim, we look at that and we say, oh, okay, well, maybe they have some fixtures coming up that they can kind of get some momentum with. They don't have the easiest schedule in the world either. So for YMCA, I mean, unless you can start pulling off some wins against some really tough teams, they might be looking at a situation where they have to settle for just avoiding those relegation spots this year and viewing that as a win.
Yeah, and that's an unfortunate position to be in, but with the lineup changes, as we mentioned, kind of an adjustment year for them as they sort of retool their roster here. But yeah, I mean, really, if they wanted, a way to start getting back in the playoffs, they do have to start taking points out of these teams. And a matchup like today, you need 2 points minimum, and you want to get those 3 points. I simply don't see them getting a full 4 against this SAWO team. So I wouldn't even have that, as something to kind of shoot for. As crazy as that is, SAWO's just seemingly been too good so far this season. But again, crazier things have happened here, and we'll get a look at what these teams look like going up against each other pretty soon.
Absolutely. Now, apparently, we're going to have a slight delay here in terms of these teams getting together. But Sim, we can take a look at the latest results from around the league, and of course, talk about a few other things to bide our time. And in talking about YMCA Esports there, I mean, we look at their most recent fixture matchup against Northern Ascendancy, which ended up being a split that could really come back to haunt them, because their most recent run of form, they've been inconsistent this year, right? Like they dropped two games to Havu. That's not surprising. They took both games against Conquer, but then you split against Färjestad. You split against Granite. So we're kind of still waiting to see who the real YMCA happened to be at this point.
Yeah, and like every point's kind of been important, and especially in that Northern Ascendancy one, they got 3, which is solid, but they really would have liked that that 4th point, especially against As you mentioned against the Granite one, splitting that series, it's just essentially like all those points that you leave on the table, they do kind of, it kind of comes back at times. And, especially in a matchup like against Northern Ascendancy, who are also struggling. If you want to be a playoff team, you got to take, the points off of those teams who are struggling there. And that's YMCA just simply hasn't been able to do that this season enough with enough consistency.
Absolutely. And I mean, Sin, you got to look at some of these other fixtures, at least that stand out to me. You had Goons beating H-Reds 2-1 in overtime. That was after, of course, Frölunda handed H-Reds their first 2 losses of the season. You also had IQ beating Färjestad 5-0, but then losing 2-0. It just goes to show how unpredictable the Elite Division's been this season.
Yeah, and just how back and forth some of these two teams go. I mean, yeah, it's, H-Reds, we were like, oh, are they going to be undefeated the whole way? Well, here's their big test in Frölunda. Frölunda takes them both, and then, they also drop a game to Goons. Yes, it's an OT, but at the same time, that's the stretch right now of what H-Reds has been on is now, 1-2-1, essentially, which is or 1-1-2 or something. Yeah, at least in the last 4, at least that we have of the information in front of us. So, again, a lot of things can kind of happen. There's still a lot up in the air here, and a bad stretch or a good stretch can still go a long way.
I mean, you could only look as invincible as they were for so long, I do suppose.
Yeah.
I believe it was 14-0 at that
Yes.
stage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just an incredible run, of course, for our defending champions coming back. Now, as well, we want to talk about, of course, heading into tomorrow's action. We want to, of course, always shout out our Pro Division Spotlight, Week 5 there. It'll be King Lime, of course, and Timo back on the call, same time as this broadcast started, of course, 20 CET game time for Hokerit against Boomers. And then the matchup I'm looking forward to, No Rex Gaming and Ghetto Firebirds. Some good friends of ours on both sides of that particular matchup. So very much looking forward to that. And of course, Sin and I will be here this Wednesday as well. More Elite Division action. Do believe as it's scheduled. H-Reds taking on HV71. Frölunda taking on Djurgården. Tough spot for HV71 and Djurgården for Wednesday's matchup, Sin. That's rough for two teams that find themselves towards the bottom of the standings right now.
Yeah, it absolutely is. But, it's a good chance for them to sort of show the ECL world that if they can put up a fight against those teams and maybe, take a couple points or a game off of one of them, that's, obviously they do believe in, do belong in this division. And, they're going to have to fight for their spot, but does kind of bode well for the future for them potentially.
So again, a friendly reminder: we have a slight delay in the start of this 2-game set, of course, between SAWO Esports and YMCA. Again, a little bit later on, Goons taking on Roots. Excited to kind of see how that one's going to play out with where those two teams happen to be in the standings right now. Both on the outside looking in, but in terms of the game situation that they have, not so much the biggest issue in the world for them to actually end up finding themselves in the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's kind of just what it comes down to here for all these teams. I mean, it's for some of them it's playoffs or bust. Some of them just kind of want to gain that experience, especially some of the newer ones into this division. But to come as far as some of these or some of these teams have, then to kind of falter or lose your spot or kind of. Sorry again, but what Yippee Voskala kind of did, you had that 1 seed and then all of a sudden you start missing the playoffs and then you find yourself in that pro division. It's so much parity now in this ECL Elite that you really got to, fight for your spot constantly.
Absolutely. As we had the teams matched up, and YMCA is going to bail out after losing their defense. So we will continue to await the start. We call it Marathon Mondays, Sim, because of the overtimes, but right now it's Marathon Mondays just to get to the starting line.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if we're going to get an update on what happened there, perhaps, or maybe a server thing, or perhaps just bad connection for someone. But we'll continue to. It's the hype. They're just building up the tension for this series here.
Apparently, it is a restart due to some less than ideal ping. I would imagine a yellow bar in Finland is about 20, which means, oh my god, the game's unplayable. Where
I play on 80 competitively.
Oh
Oh
god,
man.
every time it's brought up to people in on the North American side of things, what the common accepted ping happens to be,
Yeah.
for those on this competitive scene, you can just see the steam coming out of the ears of the people on the North
Yeah.
American side. It is, 2 different worlds, Sin.
Yeah. The
2
closest
different
thing we
worlds.
have to that is the French Canadians who don't plan anything above 15. So
There you go, and who could blame them? You might have to wait 16 minutes for a match, but hey, at the same time, whatever works for you. So again, we will hopefully be ready to go. Let's start that countdown clock. Let's see how long this takes. Make sure everyone, okay, we got to make sure we got to go through the checklist, right, Sin? Like you got to make sure you went to the bathroom. You got the hydration option. I don't care what it is, but you got to make sure that you're able to hydrate. Got to make sure you have that new roster update downloaded. Also, roster sharing. Download my files on Series X and Series S. Thank you. That's right. We're plugging roster sharing on this competitive sixes broadcast because it's Monday and we have this delay in the matchup going on an entire 11 minutes now. 11. Throwing
make
shade.
a wish. Oh no, I'm the
Throwing
only one here in the Pacific.
There's no better way to start off a broadcast week than throwing shade at the players for a delay.
Yeah.
No better way, as we have totally not run out of things to talk about. We handle these broadcasts as professionally as possible, and now here we are looking to see what's been thrown up there. And when in doubt, Sin, we talk about money.
Yeah, that's the old go-to here, and you get to look at how these winter and spring is.
We hope
Um,
so.
are we
Uh,
still live? I have no clue what's going on.
Sin is here. I'm here. We shall continue to talk as if there is nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing. Everything is going as it would for a broadcast that is being put together by numerous people from around the world. Everything's fine. All right, now, Sin, we're here. We're good. They're in the lobby. Everything's fine.
Yeah, Discord didn't crash at all, so it was the players or something.
Players, we are. Now remember, we were NHL gamer, we're sports gamer. GG on all socials, of course. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's get the action underway. It is SAWO in their home black and yellow taking on YMCA Esports, our first game of the day. And again, we thank you very much for joining us. We thank our sponsors as well, Koban Lactacy, Wilhelm, and ST Hockey for helping bring this action to you. Week 4 is underway, and what a way to start it off. An offside.
And not exactly the free flying start that we thought we might get from these two teams, but much like SAWO's kind of done here, they're willing to take the stops and really kind of turtle up when they need to, keep people to the perimeter, and then just counterattack.
In the attacking zone, at least momentarily, was YMCA. SAWO trying to get it going back down the other way. Fatu shot on the short side. Bennu able to make that glove save. Good positioning there. And Sin, despite Bennu's struggles, the thing that you expect at the very least, of course, is solid positioning and good work with his angles.
Yeah, and I think his struggles are mostly just in the stats. Every time we've seen him play, he's looked really good. It's just, again, kind of the YMCA team as they sort of get used to the new roster here, trying to figure things out.
A little bit of trouble there, and a race for the puck. The JM not going to be able to hold on to. Again, it is SAWO, the surprise of this season. No icing call there, interesting. But the surprise of this season, again, entering play today in second. And oh, the shame, they're technically in third off of point per game percentage, of course, for Lunda. Looking good, but have played a significant, just a notable amount of games less than the likes of of SAWO or H-Reds at this point.
Yeah, I think it's about 4 less than than I think SAWO at this point, if I'm counting that correctly, which is, again, that's a lot of points, potential points and for a team like Frölunda, that's, anywhere from like 6 to 8 on average.
SAWO continuing to lay the body here. YMCA trying to get something going. And the quick outs will result in the icing. Good positioning there by Julius.
Yeah, really good job kind of boxing out the skater as he's trying to go down. We see, again, that's something that YMCA is going to have to be conscientious of all whole time. The quick breakouts, the counterattack from SAWO. They really like to run those quick plays up the ice.
SAWO continuing to control the pace of play here. Yerska, golden helmet wearer for his team, signifying again the team leading scorer. Fatu banks that one off the back of the goal. Jam can get going down the other way. Finds Sokolo. Good puck protection along the boards, even with the glitching mascot through the wall. Battle for the puck down low. Shot on. Good save by Nike. Send that puck found its way to Sokolo in a great scoring position.
Yeah, you had to be quick on that one. That just kind of popped out there, as you said, to Sokolo. Took an in-tight shot, and I think he's actually running one of the superstar abilities as close quarters there. So that was big opportunity for him, but Nike turned it aside.
Again, YMCA trying to get that zone entry. A little bit of a fight for it. Moja, good pass to Yerska. Couldn't find the intended target on the other side as the puck will go all the way back down the other end. Wenger now with that head of steam trying to find that pass. Good job here. Moja has it. Pass in front again. Heavy collapse from the YMCA defense. Not leaving that much space. Here's Sokolo. Sends that one around. Handled well by SAWO. Again, the first game of 2 between these two teams here in their regular season matchup. 7:07 to go in the first. It'll be intriguing to see who can find that opening goal. As you mentioned, the 4th lowest goals per game number in the league so far for YMCA. You don't exactly want to get into a firefight here with SAWO. Scramble for the puck. Bennu able to keep that one out. First goal could certainly be huge for the sake of the momentum on Helkuru. Good job holding on to that one. Finds JM. Can't get the shot off, though. Again, good amount of numbers collapsing to the high danger scoring area. Fatu tried to dish back to the point. JM fighting for it. Can't hold on. Rimpe steps up to keep that one alive. Not much sustained pressure for YMCA so far in this game, though.
No, and that's something that they're going to have to try to find. As you mentioned, SAWO does a great job of collapsing, taking away those high-danger scoring looks. So if you're YMCA, you want to try to slow them down. I love what JM's doing, though. He's constantly looking for those turnovers. He's being very aggressive at the blue line there and trying to read where the passes are coming from. That's another thing it's going to take here. That's an errant pass. Fortunately, they don't pay for it as Tombu couldn't pick up the chop. But there's JM.
Pick that one up down low. Let's see what YMCA can do with this bit of zone time. Tried to go back to the point, nobody home, and a race for the puck. Yerska's gonna win it. Shot saved by Bennu. Thought Yerska might try to pull to the backhand, just elected to shoot. It was a good save as Nike able to play this one. A little bit dangerous off of the passing angle. Turnover. Sokolo able to get it down low. Good tie up in front, though. Allows Nike the time to grab it. He'll play it out to kill the clock, and that will do it for this first period. Sim will get another look at a save by Bennu here. It's from a little bit earlier on that short side bid. The glove save's so easy that he's not restricted by the idea of, iron or metal goalposts.
He's clearly an ethereal being right there, and as his presence definitely showed on that play. But yeah, not a whole ton of sustained pressure to speak of, as we kind of saw. Some kind of close opportunities from either of these two teams, and I just saw one registered shot from SAWO, so I'm kind of curious. Oh no, that's YMCA. Okay, I had it backwards. That's it. But yeah, I was because this is the breakaway. That's the big one there. For Bennu there, as that was Yerska being able to kind of win the race to the puck and get that quick shot on. That was what looked like it could have been a good opportunity for YMCA, turned into kind of a dangerous chance against with that. And like, that's what we mentioned, the counterattack of SAWO. They're so good at creating that space.
Second period underway here. YMCA trying to get a bit of pressure going. Again, the problem is against SAWO, and even if you can get the offense going and get some good shot-ons, you still have to beat Nikkei at the end of it, and that's the frustrating aspect of playing SAWO this season.
Yeah, it's just kind of gives you a feeling that SAWO could really kind of turn some heads when the playoffs sort of arrive, but they're going to have to keep working at what they do best. And right now, what they do best is that counterattack, the collapsing defense, and just able to wear teams down and eventually get that W.
You're not able to hold on to that one. Good forechecking effort from Yurska, but it's still YMCA in possession. 3-on-3 down the other way. Sokolo back for Kuru. Tried to hit Sokolo one more time. And just too many layers in defense for SAWO.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get into that middle of the ice a little bit too quickly. They may have to be a bit more patient and try to spread SAWO out, which, of course, is easier said than done. But right now, it feels like they're playing into SAWO's hands just a little bit.
Batu able to take that one away. Wenger is over that left-hand side. Sokolo there to defend. Immediately has two people on him and an offside call there. JM likely expecting the pass.
Yeah, I think he was right there. He had that streak. He got the step, and I guess Sokolo's hoping he could clear the line first and then feed him the puck and maybe even get him a tiny bit more space to work with, but the timing just didn't work out.
Zierska will take that one away for SAWO. Moja nowhere to go. Another offside call, as you kind of just see what a battle this is right now. Neither team really willing to give an inch here.
Yeah, and that's what YMCA is going to have to do. Again, we know SAWO's a solid counterattack team, but they have that cycle ability in them as well. So if YMCA can continue to sort of take looks and take things away from SAWO that they want to do, they still, they give themselves a pretty good chance in this one.
The puck goes into the YMCA zone. Rimpe, a little bit of trouble there. Kuru was there to help out. Jam finds Sokolo again. Both defenders in his face, and it leads to yet another offside call. Marathon Monday going to live up to its namesake here if this continues.
Yeah, a little bit of extracurricular pushing and shoving over there by the boards as well, though. Not taking the full Flyer Kungen route and hitting so many times where you have to go into the box, but, good amount. A little bit of fire between these two teams.
There's a real highlight of this season so far. Yeah. As Rimpe, great outlet pass to JM. Sokolo has a little bit of space to work with, stuck on the backhand, and, well, hey, if you can spam poke, why not? And that's what Tombu was doing. Throw as many poke checks at the opposition as possible. Consequences aren't likely to be that extreme. As Yurska takes a huge hit behind the back of the goal. SAWO in possession here again after snuffing out another attacking threat from YMCA. Rimpe able to find Julius, gets it back. Good pressure from SAWO, but YMCA at least able to get it out of the zone. They couldn't make it into the attacking end, however. Good interception there. I mean, just back and forth in terms of these short possession times. Yerska's pass in front did find its intended target, but again, only for a moment. As Rimpe able to gain the zone. Loose puck over to the far side. Nobody there to give chase. Down to 6 minutes to play here in the second period. Still looking for our opening goal. Dump and chase there. Yurska able to win that one. Tried to go around the back to Vatu. Back up for Wenger at the point. Good old Wenger. And down in the corner again, it's Yurska. Toe track to get around the defender. Unfortunately, again, just too much traffic. Kuru tried to pass it back in front. That was a crucial pick-off there. The most dangerous look for YMCA so far. Sokolo can't time it at the line. It's another offside. 3:28 to go.
Yeah, that was a really, really good look for YMCA. They went kind of in all directions. They did horizontal stuff, some vertical passes, trying to just freeze the defense of SAWO so they could open something up, and it almost worked right there. I mean, we've seen passes like that this season go through. It seems to be just kind of a matter of chance at times.
YMCA again. Goal-scoring struggles as we noted, but still in a good situation here. The opportunity to score the first goal, unfortunate there, though. For Sokolo, not able to hold on to it. Drop back, Tombu. Goes back for Moja, again, formerly of YMCA last year. He turns it over. Final minute already of the second period. See, already, despite the offsides. Chance here again. Yurska will win the race to this puck. Pass in front. Shot maybe found its way through. It looked was rather close. Too much traffic in front. Sin, that will do it. We go to the third period. Still looking for our opening goal of this game as we'll get a look here at some of the hits from Mosier.
Yeah, so far so good for YMCA. We see the elite edges coming to play right there on that massive collision. It's
It's finally hit the point where it's not funny. It's
yeah,
we have hit that point, everybody. I'm happy to announce.
But we got to mention it though, because it's still great. But yeah, it's like weirdly still only that one registered shot for YMCA. That period was really kind of just back and forth, sort of ebb and flow across the neutral zone and across the blue lines. But then neither team could really get any shots. I actually don't think either team. Maybe SAWO registered one, but there wasn't a whole lot to do there in that second period in regards to, generated chances. It was just kind of just a neutral zone batter, and it sort of flew by right there. So SAWO, of course, with their counterattacking style, that's kind of a game they would like to play, but YMCA doing a pretty good job, at least right now, of mitigating that. But, obviously they'd like to get this first goal in this game. The way it's going right now, the first one could very well be the winner.
Indeed, here we go. Third period underway. SAWO right back into the attacking zone. Tombu for Yurska. Again, tried that pass across. Both teams, same strategy. It hasn't worked yet. It's puck in front on Hokuru. Unable to hold on to it. Rimpe, dangerous pass. SAWO don't make him pay for it. Julius will circle back. 5 men back for SAWO here, daring them to bring on the pressure. There's the dump and chase into the corner. Handled well by Tombu. Fatu not able to find the breakthrough either. This is just a defensive battle of the ages so far. Nearly 4 minutes gone here in the third. It'll be a face-off in the YMCA side of things.
Yeah, and really it's the defense at the blue lines and in the neutral zone that's kind of deciding this and making this game what it is right now. Is nice defensive zone win for YMCA. They got to be careful breaking this out, though.
And Yerska able to get it out the turnover. Shot up and paddled away by Bennu there. As the out for Sokol, a little bit of space on Helkuru. And again, just poked away by Tombu. Active stick for the captain. Again, able to make another play. Yerska back for Tombu. D to D. Wenger can't get that shot through the traffic. It is handled. Down the back of the net. Now Sokolo on the half wall again. A little bit of trouble with the pressure. SAWO trying to step up a little bit. Rimpe will dump that one in behind. It's Tombu. A little bit of trouble getting that one out. Good patience, though, as the pressure backs off. Wenger for Vatu. Takes the hit at the line, but is able to poke it in. Dangerous, dangerous pass, but luckily for YMCA, Sokolo was there, and again, a quick counterattack snuffed out. Faster, just as fast. As soon as it begins, it ends. Here's Wenger. Good glove save by Bennu. Sin looked like that far corner might have been open for the defender, just couldn't pick it.
Yeah, it definitely was, and I like the mentality there from Wenger. Just get a shot on net right here. Seems like both of these teams haven't been able to get a lot of that, so he takes a decent look, tries to pick the corner, doesn't succeed, but it was a good opportunity nonetheless. They had the offense's own face-off, but Angel Kuru was able to win that, which is good for him. He's been winning some of these key draws. That's a bad pass, however.
That one-timer again blocked down by the traffic in front. Yerska can't get it through. We're going to have a foot race for the puck here. And it is going to be won by Wenger. So another SAWO face-off in the attacking zone. Still looking for that opening goal. SAWO top 5 in terms of a goals for per game average. Not so much in this one. Moses is able to find it. Goes back to the point. Here's Tombu back for Wenger again. Another great block in front for YMCA. Angel Kuru tried to just loft that pass beyond the defense. Couldn't make it work. Here's Wenger again. Has that one knocked down. Great poke check there by Angel Kuru. His feed back across. Nobody home. Certainly don't know if we expected this one, Sin, in terms of no one being able to find that breakthrough goal at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and it's, for a team as good as SAWO here in that second seed spot, we're kind of seeing the kind of reality test, how they're going to stack up to a team currently out of the playoff position, and YMCA has given them a run for their money right here.
The attacking zone, SAWO. Yerska's pass. Off the mark, Sokolo can't make his way past Wenger. There's Rimpe, a little bit of space on that right-hand side. Goes back to the point with JM, and again down low. One more time to the point. Shot blocked. Loose puck handled well by SAWO. Under 3 to play. YMCA back in possession. Would have been offside, and it is indeed offside. Thought it was poked away. We'll have another face-off here.
Yeah, Sokolo trying to kind of go laterally at the blue line there, maybe gain some speed and wait for his wingers, but also gave SAWO a bit more time to sort of set up a bit of a mini trap right there, and they are able to force the offsides by boxing him out.
Likely to be that the next goal wins. Might we go to overtime on our trademark termed Marathon Monday, of course. Let's see, there's still plenty of time for either team to find that breakthrough. Tombu to Yerska. Again, tried to go to Vatu. It's just not there.
Now, the middle's completely clogged up, but both these teams want to try to keep finding it.
An offside call there as well. I mean, Sin, it's interesting. Like, we know why teams continue to go for those high percentage chances, even when they're not working. You never know when the puck will just magically find its way to its intended target. But for now, it certainly creates a bit of a frustrating experience just to watch turnover after turnover when, hey, you might be able to get something else to work. But at the end of the day, it might result in at least both teams securing a point, which certainly for YMCA, they'll take at the very least.
Yeah, absolutely. And then in overtime, anything can happen. A bounce, just one chance, one pass that makes it through, like you said. So it's, perhaps not the worst thing in the world. But I mean, as frustrating as it may be for both of these teams to kind of watch all, their passes not do what they could be doing. That being said here, it has been, very kind of a chess match between these two teams about, where they want to go. The other team kind of predicting that, and then a nice dump and chase there. See if they can come up with possession. They don't. And that one will just kind of bounce out of the zone. It's just kind of been one of those games there as the time will tick away here in the third.
Both teams will earn a point. We go to overtime without a goal on the board, as you'll get a look here at one of the saves from Bennu. A rare occurrence. Again, going to overtime without a single goal on the scoreboard. We said the next goal could win it. The next goal now will definitely win it. We'll see who walks away with that extra point here in this first game. Sin, one shot for YMCA in regulation. That is stunning.
Yeah, they seem to just want to get to certain areas, and that just comes down to what SAWO loves to do. I mean, YMCA have taken a couple point shots here and there, but I don't feel like they've been a lot of conviction behind some of those looks. They seem to really want to get to that middle, and as we mentioned in the pregame, and as this game is going on, SAWO has just been phenomenal at taking away the middle of the ice in their defensive end. So those looks simply aren't there. I would like to see a few more different looks coming from YMCA at the points, but I think the fear of that Yerska Vatu pressure and the counterattack from them is kind of in the minds of YMCA. A bit of an intimidation factor. They're afraid to work the points because of that. It just takes one kind of turnover and a breakaway, and this thing could be over.
Absolutely. So here we go again. SAWO looking for win number 15 on the season. See if they're able to do so again, trying to keep pace with the likes of for London to make sure they can secure that second place spot. If not, even continuing to try and push H-Reds for the top spot. YMCA again. Crucial point entered play today in 11th. They'd really want that extra point. Kick back to the point now. Moja. Back down low, foot race for the puck. Rimpe comes up with it, takes the hit, turned it over. Yerska, Moja, back to him. Kick save by Bennu. Biggest challenge so far, Yerska. Trying to hold that one down low. Pressured well, but he holds on to it. Tombu looking at his options. Nobody in front, so he goes back down the boards. Vatu tried to shovel that one in from the short side. Yerska again able to hold on to it. Such a good job in puck protection. Wenger's shot blocked down. Rimpe's able to handle this one this time. Vatu keeps it in. That pass back from Moja off the mark. Finally, YMCA able to clear. Sokolo for Angel Kuru. Couldn't poke it. Sokolo again has it poked away. They just can't pull the trigger in time. Angel Kuru had it momentarily. And a trip is called. Perhaps some frustration for YMCA. They just can't overcome the accurate poke checking of SAWO. And if they need it, indeed, after the offside call, it'll be there. The power play coming up for SAWO. Sin, The 8th best power play, so about middle of the road for SAWO, but a bottom 5 PK for YMCA. This could be it.
Yeah, and that looked like 100% a frustration kind of poke there from Angel Kuru. Wasn't in good position, then he got perhaps one of the worst poke animations as well on top of it, kind of spelled doom. This is a huge moment for YMCA to kill this off.
That puck down low in the corner, dished all the way around, nobody home. So an early break for YMCA. Again, a little bit of trouble for SAWO to try and gain the attacking zone. This power play almost half over. Finally, SAWO's in. Wenger dishes down low for Vatu. Back to the defender, trying to pinch in. Circles away from the trouble. Rocket pass off the mark. And back to center. 35 to go. On the man advantage for SAWO. Vatu nowhere to go. Rimpe able to clear. JM backs off. 10 seconds to go on the power play. Nothing for SAWO at this point. Last second chance. We are back to 5-on-5, but SAWO in the attacking zone. Tambu back for Yurska. Again back to the point. Tambu looking. Pass broken up by Angel Kuru. Vatu earns it back. Wenger throws it in front. Nobody there. Yurska wins it for the moment. It's finally poked out. Sokolo with nowhere to go. Incredible back and forth battle here. SAWO again in the attacking zone. Down low for Yurska. Trying to hold on to it. Turns it over to JM. Pass to Sokolo. Off of the skate. SAWO right back into the danger area here. Here's Vatu. Tried the short side. Just couldn't get the angle. Jam for Sokolo. Bit of space here as Julius steps up. 3-on-1 developing. Julius draws the trip, and it will be a YMCA power play as it is Tambu with the penalty there. He went down to block the lane. And we might get another look at that, Sid. Now, it doesn't paint the best picture for YMCA when you look at their power play compared to the PK of SAWO. 7th worst power play for YMCA. SAWO tied for the 2nd best PK. But finally, YMCA might get an opportunity to threaten Nikkei here. And poor Nikkei might end up with a 500 save percentage if he allows the next goal.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just... it's a massive chance for YMCA. That was their best look. Once again, they didn't get a shot out of it, but it was because of the trip right there. Julius just tried to kind of cut to the middle right there. Maybe he was looking for a shot. I'm not too sure. It looked like he pulled it to the forehand. Could have gone either way there. Nonetheless, this is a major opportunity. They got to try to keep the puck in.
And they do for the moment. Julius holding on to it. Best chance here for YMCA to get something going. Here's Rimpe. Back for Julius. And Angel Kuru trying to set up in front as best he can. One-timer deflects off the man in front. And Nikkei is able to find it and make the cover.
I mean, that was one of their best looks of the game. They finally kind of used the point look right there, and that would have been, I think, Rimpe taking that blast from back there. Looked pretty good. There was some space. He was aiming for the correct side of the net. It just didn't quite go through. Losing that face-off there is rough. Good job by Moja.
Again, now with 45 seconds to go on the power play. JM around the back of the net to Sokolo. One-timer blocked down and cleared. Great job by Wenger. Chance for one more rush on the power play for YMCA Esports, and we'll be back to 5-on-5. Puck into the corner. Rimpe chases that one down. JM has it, trying to fend off the pressure, and he does. Only momentarily. 3 minutes to go here in this overtime. Still looking for a goal. I don't know how it might be a mixed reaction when I say we have one more game coming up between these two.
Depends on what you like. If you enjoy kind of a lot of precise movement, what a pass that was. Definitely led to a chance. Just as we think. Yeah.
Moja tried to bank that off of the back of Bennu, and why not, right?
Yep. Just as we think there might be a lull, there came an incredible pass to get someone right in front of the goaltender.
Here's Moja. Shot there for Yurska. Doesn't go. They finally got that chance they wanted. And there we go. We have a winner. SAWO with 1:32 to go. Vatu scores the winner. And SAWO earned that extra point.
That'll be yet another shutout for Nikkei as well. I didn't want to say it. I said, well, I don't know if it'd be a jinx if I said both goalies have a chance to earn a shutout. Nonetheless, kept my mouth shut, especially with Bennu in the game here, and I'm glad I did. But just a great job. SAWO finally kind of get one of those passes to the middle, and that was Vatu sitting there. They've been doing an increasingly better job as that game went on of forcing the turnovers, keeping the puck in that zone, preventing YMCA from breaking it out into the neutral zone. They kept just, applying more and more pressure to the further up the ice, essentially. They started out great collapse, and they started out holding him at the blue line. Then they started out getting the neutral zone turnovers, and right there towards the end of that game, they started, applying the pressure on that forecheck, forcing those turnovers a lot more. And at the end of the day, that's what helped them get that game winner there. 1-0 is the final score in this first game between SAWO and YMCA.
8th shutout of the season for Nikkei, and as was mentioned in chat there, now we kind of understand how he might end up with such a high save percentage.
Yeah.
A tremendous defensive performance there from SAWO as they do. Sim, what was the final total there? I missed it. Was it still just the one shot, or did they end up with a second?
No, it was still just
shot.
One registered shot.
In almost 4 periods of play. I mean, I don't know if that... I think it speaks to both the defensive structure of SAWO, but at the same time, the offensive struggles, again, that we have seen from YMCA. That is our first game of 2 between these two in the books. We'll be back after a brief little word from one of our sponsors, at the very least. Then we'll set the stage for this second game. Who knows what we might get? We'll find out in a few seconds.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Loistava vapauttava syöttö ja sen jälkeen ollaan karkumatkalla. Minkälaisia ratkaisuja tulee? Tämän kaverin nimittäin on ollut todella kylmän viileä näissä paikoissa. Kilven räpyläpuolelle kummalle tulee liikkuvat taakse kiekkomaali! Ja Vilhelm jälleen kerran nakkikioskille. Smokey Bites ja Snacks ovat tuoneet hienosti lisää leveyttä Vilhelm joukkueeseen.
All right, everybody. We are back again. Thank you for sticking with us. Big thank you to the likes of Wilhelm, of course, Kouvolan Lakritsi and SD Hockey as well for sponsoring this season. Sin, I mean, again, like you mentioned, maybe a little bit of a polarizing game. Depends on what you like to see out of the competitive scene in terms of maybe a defensive battle versus something a little bit more high scoring. But at the end of the day, another crucial point for YMCA, but again, more so for SAWO as they continue to try and keep that pace with the likes of our top teams in H-Reds and Frölunda. So it might not have been the prettiest performance, but that is what top teams do. They're able to get that result.
Yeah, and again, you say it all the time in any sports, really, real life, esports, doesn't matter. Good teams find a way, and that's what SAWO did in that one. They finally got that look they wanted, just kept applying the pressures, kind of just slowly, stepping on the throats of YMCA as that game went on and on and on, and that's, it's kind of a bend don't break mentality from SAWO, and I mean, to only allow that one registered shots, I mean, YMCA had a few other looks, whether it was shots blocked or they simply weren't able to get them off. They got the puck into good locations, but something was there from SAWO, a poke check, a body to block the puck, even taking that penalty. Again, YMCA didn't even register a shot on that power play, despite that one good one-time look from the point. That's just got to be a frustrating kind of game, but definitely some things to sort of look at and tweak for YMCA. They only gave up the one goal, just unfortunately they couldn't score.
Absolutely. Again, a very complete defensive performance for SAWO, and we'll see if we happen to see a repeat performance here. Again, our second game coming up in just a few moments. For YMCA, it's one of those things we always talk about for the losing team. Okay, what can you do differently to try and get the result? You ended up with just one shot on target. I mean, needless to say, they tried different looks. We saw the dump and chase from them a few times. Is it more of a willingness to just kind of let the puck go? Like, how do you view this? And at the very least, you got to end up with more than one shot on target in almost 4 periods of play. It's easier said than done, of course, but end of the day, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that, hey, you get one shot on target, you're not likely to win.
Yeah, and it's kind of as you said, it's really not. There's no easy answer after what we kind of saw in the last game. Oftentimes, it's just like, oh, take some shots from here. That's open. Oftentimes, you see that, but with the way SAWO plays defense, when they can clog up the middle as they do, and then still send out their wingers to block shots, and of course, it's always a threat of Yerska and Vatu, who seemingly have unlimited stamina for those counterattacks. I know they don't, but they do a very, very good job of stamina management, I've noticed. And the second that they're ready to go, we saw it with Yerska. He won that race when a defenseman was ahead of him when they're racing back in the zone. He won the race to the puck and got a quick shot off on Bennu, who did turn it aside, but it just goes to show you how much the little things really do matter. I think SAWO right now is a very detail-orientated team, and they do all those little things really, really well. So if you are YMCA, it's going to be tough. I don't really know the answer of how they can register more shots, because we saw them take a variety of looks. I'd say more looks from the point. Yes, there's a risk of Yerska and Vatu, forcing those turnovers, but if you can get them down lower into that collapse, just get a quick one. You don't care how you do it. Pull it off the boards, wrist it, just some kind of chance, because yeah, the one registered shot is simply not going to be enough. Yeah, even if you risk a counterattack going the other way, sometimes you have to take risks. It's a game of that. You saw in the last one, they lost 1-0. They didn't really take any major risks. Perhaps if you took a risk or two, maybe you could have had a goal, maybe two. Who knows how that one would have went.
The United team pictures there for YMCA as well.
I love it. The Burger Boys.
Throwback to back in the day before the branding came along, of course. Then, of course, as well, we do see only one player, I do believe, that's Rimpe, not rocking elite edges. He's rocking tape to tape for those an extra bit of passing accuracy, all things considered. Always interesting when someone breaks away from even, a little bit of the meta, but not rocking elite edges in any shape or form. It's a little bit surprising.
Yeah, definitely is. Again, it's a very puck possession heavy style play here in the EU scene, and being able to move with the puck, move without the puck, the agility, everything like that's especially important.
Again, tomorrow's Pro Division matchup. King Lime, Tymo on the call. Again, same time right here tomorrow. Hokrit and Boomers, Ghetto Firebirds taking on the team with the best logo in all of esports. That's right, I said it. Shout out to No Rex Gaming, of course. Although I will shout out the No Rex Academy. Probably the best logo. Sin, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's the same thing, except he's got a little graduation cap on. It's adorable. Shout out to No Rex Gaming. Absolutely.
No Rex Zone.
Completely biased when it comes to them and their logo. I will admit it. So again, make sure to catch our Pro Division coverage right here tomorrow on Sports Gamer. And of course, we'll have more information for you a little bit later on. Sin and I will be here this Wednesday and Thursday as well. Of course, week 4 and an early chance there, ripped wide on the wrister by Yerska. SAWO in their road yellows this time out. YMCA in the home black. And SAWO, early bits. Moja across the Vatu, he scores! Sin picking up where he left off in the overtime. Vatu scores again. His 19th and team leading 19th of the season. SAWO up 1-0, just a minute and 24 into the game.
And I had a feeling we might see SAWO ramp up the pressure early on in this one, not really give YMCA a chance to settle into it. They saw what worked in overtime, and later in that third period, SAWO kicks it off with that extreme forechecking pressure, and they get rewarded with a goal. 1-0 for them early on. Now YMCA is going to have to get creative. They're going to have to take risks.
And back in the attacking zone already is SAWO. Certainly not looking to have a repeat performance from what we saw last time. But again, Vatu now, his 19th goal of the year in his return to the Elite Division. They're not participating last year. JM's shot goes wide. Kick back to the point, Julius. We'll see what YMCA can do. JM's shot. I think that was a block or save. Might have hit the side of the goal. Close call regardless for Nikkei. But good to see that extra bit of willingness to just throw the puck on and test Nikkei from certain angles. I mean, you might be able to talk about a goalie not being warmed up as Bennu is able to find that one to make the cover. But yeah, same thing about that. Just one shot against for Nikkei in almost 4 periods of play. I don't know if you can call a goaltender all that warmed up when he's had so little action on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they got warmed up probably prior to this matchup here. But yeah, I mean, he might have sort of gone cold there. Not a whole lot of chances against him right there. As another one kind of skitters towards the net as SAWO here just kind of, throwing that puck into dangerous locations, and oddly that didn't go for icing.
You notice, though, with Bennu, too, and I wanted to point this out, because you often point out how often, goaltenders don't use the butterfly. Bennu is having to use that butterfly quite a bit to make sure these passes into the dangerous area don't find their intended target and beat him low. Spanger's shot, good save by Bennu there. Rimpe able to find JM. Sokolo not able to split the defense. Rimpe stripped of the puck by Vatu. Has the 2 goals for SAWO here tonight so far. On the backhand, tried to go back down low for Moja. YMCA looking for their first goal of the night, but here's Vatu. Yerska couldn't hold on to it. One of the more creative players in this elite division we've seen this season. Rimpe having trouble. Vatu couldn't strip the puck from him. Sokolo has to drop it back down. Much faster paced at this first period compared to what we saw for the majority of that first game. Again, a little bit later on, Roots Gaming taking on Goons. That was a great chance there, but he just couldn't pull the trigger. Vatu able to find Moja. Wants to go to Tambu. Burst of speed here. Moja. Had to go back to Wenger, who has it. Tough position. Vatu able to keep it in the attacking zone. Throws one on. Saved by Bennu. And again, Sin down in the butterfly early, and it might have saved him.
Yeah, Bennu having to be pretty busy early on here. Did surrender that goal, but again, as kind of I was thinking might happen, SAWO really kind of cranking up the pressure. More and more willing to sort of, try to keep that forecheck going here, and it's kind of thrown YMCA for a loop.
See what JM can do down the other way. His team's leading scorer, 13 on the season, and there we go, saved by Nikkei. Something we haven't really been able to say too much. We've had one opportunity to say, I think, prior to that. Here's Vatu, he scores! Unbelievable effort there, taking over this matchup. His second of the game and third of the night. SAWO up by 2.
That is just a beautiful, beautiful bit of skating. Elite edge work, as you could say, from Vatu there, as he just completely catches Julius over back checking right there and just goes around him cleanly, backhands it on net to beat Bennu on the far side. And SAWO up 2-0. And I mean, you're seeing why Vatu has the amount of goals. I mean, we mentioned Yerska, who had, the 17, which was impressive. Well, Vatu also had that, just slightly less assists. He does have 6 game winners now, 7 through the last one. And if this game goes anything like it did in the first one, yeah, exactly.
20 goals now for Vatu on the season. This is his 20th game of the season. Again, I don't think anyone ever denied that the guy is talented at the video game, at the very least. Here is Yerska going down the other way. A bit of contact in the corner, draws the call. It will be a SAWO power play as JM skates to the box and then runs away from it.
Yeah, I think it was earlier on.
The hit there by Rimpe. And he will take a seat. Huge chance for SAWO to add to their lead.
Yeah, it was when they were trying to hold the zone there that Rimpe tried to pinch and hit the guy, except he hit the guy who didn't quite have the puck there. But good face-off win. The problem is, can they get it out? They can't.
There's Wenger from Moja. The shot from Yerska just wide. SAWO, though, still in possession. Tambu for Wenger, for Moja. Good save on the short side by Bennu. So not much Bennu could do either on both of those goals, but strong performance here regardless in terms of, again, his angles are on point, but what can you do against that Vatu attempt?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he needed to do on that. It was the threat was there. Vatu was on the back door, but he just kind of trusted the defense and held that short side, and Moja just tried to, looked like he went kind of lower on that shot as well. It just didn't find its mark.
Vatu, the pass over from Moja. Good skating, pass in front. JM can't clear it out. It is offside there, though. It was broken up at the point. Tambu. They're caught in kind of a fortunate situation in terms of trying to maintain possession there.
Yeah, and SAWO has not had the best power play looks today. This one's been a bit better for them so far, but a couple self-inflicted wounds on this one and the last one a bit where they kind of passed it out a couple times, and this one will most likely result to nothing, but they do have one more rush attempt.
Got that little bit of extra time on the clock as well. It was slowed down. Vatu Wenger back in front. Shot attempt still being swept towards the goal. But the score will hold. It is 2-0. Again, Vatu, 2 goals in the period. We'll get a look at hopefully that second one, and indeed we will. What an attempt and what an effort beating Benno on the glove side.
Yeah, so nice right there, and I love the gloves and the skate aesthetic coming out for him as well. Real good look right there, and I mean, the stick's pretty hot right now as well. 3 goals in this matchup, 2 in this game. He has his team up 2-0, and oh, good gracious. 8 shots to 1, 3 minutes time in attack to sub 1 minute. So YMCA facing a similar kind of situation here where they're struggling to even register shots. What a look that was. I mean, just kind of nice in-tight passes from SAWO. When they get that puck low, they just have really, really precise sort of movements with the puck, without the puck, and passes to make. I mean, that can be one of the tougher things, is to consistently be making those in-tight passes and not kind of overskate or, skate out of position. And SAWO's just, been really good at that. A lot of precise movements, and it's benefiting them so far as they've, again, cranked up the pressure and really taken over this matchup.
SAWO trying to pick up where they left off. Good glove save again by Bennu. If we've learned anything, don't shoot high glove side. Try to shoot low glove side, preferably on a spinorama backhand. We'll have another face-off here in the attacking zone for SAWO. They have dominated this matchup so far, but now they have the goals to show for it. That shot from Mozia, a little bit off the mark. Again, played with YMCA last year. Had a nearly 50-point season for his efforts. On as good of a pace this time as well. Good save there by Nike, and YMCA able to pass that one shot on goal tally.
Yeah, I do like it. Testing him from range right there. You never know. Sometimes you can snipe it. The one earlier as well just kind of hit off his right pad as he was sliding the opposite direction. So, again, the chances are not too bad. And here's one.
That one back. That shot from Julius doesn't get through. A little bit of room down the other way. Yerska for Vatu. Shot on. Saved by Bennu. Yerska from Mozia. Tried to find Tombu. Runs into trouble. Numbers for YMCA. Sokolo looking. Pass in front. And Nike is able to find it as JM just couldn't get a piece of it.
Yeah, he might have got the tiniest little shovel shot off right there, but he was just too far behind the puck in that play, and Nike is able to swallow that up, but kind of one of YMCA's better looks right there, and they couldn't really do as much with it on the with numbers because the back check from SAWO was breathing down their necks.
Couple there for Julius. Tombu able to step up and win it for SAWO. He's being pressured out of the zone, though. Great job by Sokolo. And YMCA looking for their first goal of this matchup. They did get the overtime point, but they have to fight to earn that one this time out. 1 point, not quite the pace they were looking for, as this one's rocketed back down the other way. It's a quick out down the other way. Sokolo will win the race to it. Smart move by Tombu, didn't chase. JM wrap around, couldn't handle it. Okay, now it's YMCA. Space for Wenger. Yerska. Loose puck. Moja nearly found it. Wenger again. For Vatu. Back to the right defender here. Moja back for Wenger. Nearly able to pull that one through. SAWO's free-flowing offense. A little bit more successful, but still not able to find the back of the net as consistently as they'd be hoping. Good stretch past the other side. Rimpe's got space. Stays on the backhand. Blocker saved by Nike. Fakes the shot. Turns it over, though. Space down the other way. Vatu, the quick give and go. Slowed them up a little bit too much. Good hit there by Tombu. Couldn't keep it alive, though. Angel Kuru has JM with him. The give back and forth again. Just maybe a bit too predictable, Sin.
Yeah, and the stick was there no matter what, kind of looking for the pass to break up the pass initially, but it was actually the pass back, and his stick was sort of in position there already, just sort of disrupted the receipt there from Angel Kuru, and YMCA, couple odd-man rushes, they just haven't really been able to generate enough or anything from them.
It is one more time, Yerska from Mozia. Wenger. Shot straight to the chest, Bennu. Able to make that save. 6:52 to go here in the second period. Again, the second game between these two. It was a 1-0 victory for SAWO in overtime in game number 1. Again, a little bit later on. Roots taking on Goons in our second matchup of this first match day of week 4. Good glove save by Bennu. Again, as we are already barreling towards the playoffs here. Again, most teams at this stage have played over the halfway points of our 30-game regular season. Here is Julius. JM. The bull rush his way through traffic. Shot on. Good save by Nike. It looked like there was a rebound chance, and unfortunately there, Rimpe overskated that one. Kuru trying to help out on defense. Moja pass back. Kuru was there to pick it off. Looking to lead the charge. Batu does a good job to shut him down. Tambu not able to hold on to it. Sokolo. Just not what he was looking for. What a set of passes there. Here's Vatu, bit of space. Rimpe back to defend. Handled well by the defender and is able to get it out of traffic. Jam over the line. Again, immediately contested. Captain Tambu handles it well now under 3 minutes to play. Wenger. Pass a little bit off the mark. It'll be an offside call. Straight 2s on the clock.
And both of these teams seemingly a bit more willing to throw the puck on the net in this one. It's creating a bit more an element of more randomness as the puck kind of bounces and rebounds around. And I liked what I saw from JM on that last YMCA rush. He tried to shoot low for that rebound. It didn't, nothing came of it. But again, they're at least coming closer, giving themselves a chance for a good bounce to benefit them. But fortunately, right there, they do go offside. JM just a little bit ahead of the play.
We'll see what happens. A goal here late for YMCA. I mean, again, they're first as well. We'll see what happens. I mean, again, if they can get that first goal, that momentum that they might be able to build into the third period is on Kuru. There's a couple off the side of the goal. Batu able to take it away. Good poke by Rimpe. Still in the attacking zone, only momentarily. JM, 5 seconds on Kuru on the backhand, trying to go back to JM. A 2-0 lead for SAWO at the end of the first will carry into the third as well. We'll see Bennu, who was able to keep it at that scoreline off of a great save here. But Sin, this is now nearly 6 full periods of play for YMCA Esports without a goal.
Yeah, and that's can't be overlooked anymore. This is the season trend for them. They haven't been able to score, and it's going to cost them some games. They have the registered shots now, at least 5 on net, but it's a higher shooting game for both of these teams. It's kind of really opened up here. It's hard to say who that benefits, but I mean, scoreboard, it's SAWO as of right now, but most of that's been coming from their aggression and less so much on kind of back and forth rush plays, and more from them really, applying the pressure and forcing the turnovers in YMCA's zone. But it's, again, YMCA just, I hate to say it, but they seem just a little bit outmatched right now by this SAWO team. They're doing the right things. They're simplifying. They're putting pucks on net, looking for rebounds, trying to throw them on. But I think in both of their odd man rush opportunities, I'm not too sure if they registered a shot. And that simply can't happen is Vatu.
The hat trick, 3-0 now in favor of SAWO. 24 seconds into the period, Sin, and it goes from bad to worse for YMCA.
That's just a heartbreaker for Bennu, who's in good position. The shot on seemingly makes the save, but the puck trickles in there. No time is safe for analysis as SAWO come out blazing hot again at the beginning of the period. This time, getting rewarded with a goal even sooner, as you mentioned, just seconds into the third.
So heartbreaker here for YMCA. Pass across, good chance from Mozia. Nearly found its way through as well. Chance there again, Kuru just not able to get that shot off. SAWO backing on the attack. That pass across for Vatu just couldn't find its intended target. Nearly again went from bad to worse. It's this one around the back. YMCA desperate for their first goal of the night. They're not going to get it with a pass like that. We'll see again what they can do. I mean, now you're just talking about more so. I mean, crazier comebacks have happened, but more so a little bit of momentum for the end of the night. Chance there, bouncing around. Bennu is forced to make a save. Batu shot blocked, and a good chance for Yurska. Just couldn't get a handle on it.
Yeah, that net was open if he was able to get that shot off, but he had to kind of corral it a bit, and he still didn't was able to control it.
This one around the back and quickly out, but again, YMCA able to hold on to it. See what they can do. That one knocked loose. 11.5 to play, 3-0 now for SAWO. All 4 goals, a trip there. YMCA to the power play, but indeed now sent all 4 goals in this contest for SAWO have been scored by Vatu. As we will see the tripping call there. As Fenger takes a seat. I mean, again, a good chance. If there was going to be a comeback, this is where it would start.
You have to start right now. This needs to be a goal on this power play.
That one sent up to Yurska. Gets a little bit fancy, but is able to survive it.
Yeah, that's worst case scenario right there for YMCA. They technically got the advantage off the draw with a chance to win it, and they didn't come up with possession.
Pass again. You'd like to see Rimpe just take that shot. He had the angle. Rimpe at the point. Good movement, good save. And against it, I mean, I can't blame YMCA for not wanting to just take standard shots when that much movement and Nikkei is just in perfect position. I understand the challenge and the difficulties that they're facing here, certainly, as Nikkei makes another save. And this one's sent all the way down by Mozia.
Yeah, it's been tough. And even on that play, it's seemingly JM didn't get the one time off, so it's either that his timing was slightly off or he didn't expect the puck to get back to him, actually, and that's not a great spot to be in. It's a great play by Rimpe there to break that up. So I think that was Vanger all the way up the ice. He was going to be gone on the breakaway.
Yeah. Fresh out of the box. We are back to 5-on-5, 8 minutes to play. SAWO continuing their charge towards the top of the standings. Vatu gets this one back. Again, has the hat trick in this game. 21 goals on the season, nearly 22. Great saves by Bennu to keep this one theoretically within reach. But again, still looking for the first YMCA goal of the day.
Yeah, Bennu has really been the guy for YMCA so far this season. And I mean, moves like that, you can totally see why they're not able to reward him with enough goal support here. And that's kind of a bit of a heartbreaker there, as I do feel like he's had, stats aside, he's been making some big saves. Had a pretty good season.
Rimpe has this one down low. Sokolo to the point to flex off the traffic in front. Let's see what happens there. Good chance once more for SAWO. 4.5 to go. It'll be another power play, this time though in favor of SAWO. The tripping call there. Sokolo to the box, as we'll get another look at that one, and it's pretty much indisputable.
Yeah, and that's, again, that was a double poke right there, so a little bit of frustration coming out as you're just trying to keep things going, get the puck back in your hands, try to at least get a goal here, but this could be a bad situation for them. SAWO has looked good. They got to clear that puck.
Turnover. Yurska scores. Ruthless efficiency from SAWO. So we finally have a goal scorer that isn't Vatu in this matchup. 4-0 SAWO.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate there. Julius, I think that was, tried to just skate the puck out, and you can't do that against the active sticks of SAWO, but I understand why he felt like you had to. You're down by 3. You have to attack at this point. It doesn't really matter if they score on you again, and score they have, as Yurska puts them up 4-0 with 4:15 left here in the third.
Yurska's 18th of the season, as Sin mentioned. He and Vatu ended up entering this matchup, as Vatu nearly has another one. He and Vatu ended up entering this matchup both with 17 goals on the season. Vatu's just a little bit ahead of him at this stage.
At 4 goals, so he's at, 21 now to Yurska. Only has 18. Oh, boo.
As here comes YMCA. Sokolo took that penalty that led to that previous power play goal. Great job there by Tombu. The poke check up to Moja. Under 3 minutes to play here. As JM throws that one in front, bounces around and to the right. A penalty is called. And YMCA will have the final 2 minutes of regulation, essentially, to try and finally find that goal, as an interesting moment there. But again, Wenger will take his second penalty of the game for tripping.
Yep, this is big opportunity here. Again, I mean, you might not get the win, but you got to find a way to solve Nikkei here. You got to get that kind of pride goal if you're YMCA.
What they can do, Rimpe has it. That shot. Jam can't find the back of the net. Sokolo for Julius. Good movement. Great save by Nick. Sin, he's a stone wall back there. Just so calm and collected.
I don't get how he's tracking all these perfectly, but he is. Like, those passes are exceptionally fast. We all know how tough it can be for a goalie to track those plays laterally. He's right there every time. He's a machine.
That one at least sent back to the neutral zone, only momentarily. YMCA backing on the attack. Another save by Nikkei. No rebounds to be found. As finally YMCA going to that strategy of just throwing pucks on goal, which again, right now, I mean, no pay dirt on that, but hey, you never know. I mean, it's not like the other strategies were working either.
Yeah, they're just kind of hoping for a nice bounce off a rebound. Beautiful poke there from Sokolo. Can't quite get the follow-up possession there to keep the puck in, and that does clear out. They do have the real time to work with the man advantage at least.
And another trip there, and another trip there. They keep possession for now. And a chance there for Sokolo goes to waste. 5-on-3, Sin. If I'm Bennu, I join the play. 6-on-3.
Why not?
I mean, certainly if I'm YMCA, I pull the goalie here. Anything to just kind of get something going. As we see now, YMCA up to 11 shots. Hasn't made a difference as we get a look at that 12 ping. Again, every person in North America furious.
Absolutely punching the air right now. But yeah, it's a tough call for if you throw Bennu onto the bench. It's like, yeah, it's a more men advantage, but there's a little bit more crowded out there. So I don't know. I don't think we'll see him head to the bench there. I'm sure SAWO, if they just get the puck, do have it. Okay,
there we go. 6-on-3 for 32 seconds. Thank you, YMCA, for going with the logical decision. Sokolo pass across, nearly got Bennu the goal. Rimpe the one-timer for JM, blocker saving out of play.
Yeah, they want this goal right here, and looks like they're even trying to give it to Bennu as well. Kind of reward him for his efforts in this one, because, I mean, all things considered, he's had to make some big saves.
That one not cleared out, but at least sent to the neutral zone off the bounce. Here's Bennu. Julius now, a lot of traffic in front. Nikkei finds it easily. And I do not know how.
I don't know either. It's 14 seconds now. I think everyone is got to be cheering a little bit for YMCA to find the marker right here. Can they do it?
Rimpe shot. Nikkei again. Is this the same? Like, not that Nikkei was bad when he was with H-Reds, but is this the same Nikkei, or did SAWO like make him in a laboratory? Because he has been picture perfect tonight.
Yeah, he really has been. I think he's just getting the full chance that he never quite got with H-Reds as they ran a tandem.
As that should do it. SAWO gonna take game 2 by the score of 4-0. Consecutive shutouts for Nikkei.
Nice.
As SAWO moved to 16-3-1 on the season. Nikkei led the league in shutouts with 7 entering today. Sin, he's up to 9, and Kape's what we thought previously untouchable shutout record, maybe not so much, as Nikkei will get the last highlight here.
Yeah, Kape maybe paying a bit of a closer attention now. Of course, you don't. Everyone, more focused on the team success, but that's, a fair bit of bragging rights. And yeah, I'm sure he thought potentially that was, at least for the time being, kind of an untouchable record, but Nikkei making a run for it right now. But again, they do have that Frölunda matchup coming up. I'm sure Frölunda's going to make sure he doesn't pick up not a single one when they play against each other. Nonetheless, what a performance from SAWO, especially in that second game. What a performance out of Nikkei at the end there, as YMCA were doing everything in their power. 6-on-3, empty net, trying to score, throwing pucks on, looking for rebounds. It just wasn't there. Even the shots that should have produced rebounds through traffic, Nikkei somehow didn't give them up. And, I mean, a 14-save shutout all in all, 15 saves total across the 2 games and no goals allowed. That's phenomenal goaltender performance. But speaking of phenomenal goaltender performances, Bennu had quite a few big saves. Yes, he allowed 4 in this one. Yes, he lost both games, but there were times when he was the last line of defense and he was still making some of those massive saves there. It's just, you keep getting those A looks. Eventually they're going to go in, and Bennu just faced way too many A grade chances, especially in that second game.
So a huge result there for SAWO. Another 4 points added to their tally here in this regular season for YMCA. They at least walk away with a point from the initial overtime loss, but not scoring a single goal today certainly has to sting. As we've talked about, they do have a somewhat tough schedule to finish up the season. Maybe, just maybe again, those views, the goal for the season could be shifting from playoffs to just avoid that relegation spot and at least make sure that they hold their spot in the elite division heading into our spring season. Of course, with that little bit of a delay before that first game, we're going to throw to a break now to kind of get back on track. We'll be back in just a few moments. Roots Gaming and Goons coming at you in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.